Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you're enjoying some of my content. Wanted to post an update on my 2014 T4.95. This is a New Holland tractor, 98 engine horsepower. I think it's 86 or so PTO horsepower, but I bought this back in 2015. It is a 2014 model. I purchased it new. I was looking for a certain set of features. If you check out some of my other videos, you'll get to see some of this tractor in action with some of the things I like to do. I like to snowplow. I live in northwestern Pennsylvania in the snow belt, so we get to move some snow. I do a lot of brush hogging. We have some property here, skid logs. I do a lot of loader work, working on projects. If you check out my channel, you know that last year I built this building behind me, and this tractor came in extremely handy. Everything from the site work to setting the poles, augering the holes, and even created a little bit of a crane setup on the front loader to put the trusses up. So did a lot of work with it, but I've got 600 hours on this tractor, and I'd like to take you through some of the things that have been going on since I purchased it and just give you a little update. Thanks for watching. Okay, so you can see tractor is still extremely clean. I do use it. I use a lot of the loader. It's got a very strong loader. This is a mechanical self-leveling loader with a heavy-duty bucket on the front. You can see where I welded some hooks and a D-ring, so when I have some work to do and I want to put the chains on it. The bucket, the top of the bucket's strong. The bottom of the bucket you gotta be careful with. You can see I'm actually tearing up the cutting edge on it, and you can bolt a aftermarket, or even I think New Holland might sell a cutting edge to give you some more durability. But if you center load this bucket with, you know, a couple thousand pounds and lift, the tractor will attempt to lift it, and you can deflect the bottom of the bucket. So you need to be a little bit cautious about that. I run a snowplow in the front, if you check out some of my other videos. So I strung some hoses from the rear remotes to the front. I don't have a third remote valve on the front, something I probably should look at, but this has worked for me, so working out well. Again, quick attach on the bucket, so skid steer attach, and you can check out why those green lines are there on one of my other videos. Tires have held up well. These are the radial tires, and I went for the big ones. I wanted the front ones are 380/85 24s or a 14.9 24. Again, good tread depth, nice flat profile, gives you some good dig in the rears. Again, these are 460/85 34s or 18.4 R34s. Only a couple issues I've had, which is just really me being hard on it. When I'm brush hogging, a lot of times I'm going into some really brushy stuff, woody stuff, and I'm backing in, and I have, you know, put a stick through the sidewall. They were things that I was able to plug myself, but I've never had a problem in the face. But we start getting up into this area, you got to be a little bit cautious. As you can see, the rear of the tractor looks really good. Got great lift capacity. This is the deluxe cab with suspension, so you can see the suspension system there. Gives you a little bit of ride dampening. I've never had this tractor back to the dealer. I've performed all the service myself. I did have an issue when I first purchased it where one of the rear tires started to come off because the bolts were loose. I'm not sure if that was a oversight when they were prepping it, but we got that resolved. Something I think New Holland could have done a better job with is this right here. These covers like to snap off. They snap on, but they like to pop off. Sorry about that. So I just taped them on there. And this right here is another little nuisance. You can see it likes to lift up, not clip in. This is the way it sits normally. I don't normally see it, but when I come over here, it is something I observe. Again, with the deluxe cab, you get the vision view so you can see your loader when you're lifting it to full height, even though you have a cab. It also has a sunscreen that'll drape across there and hook in if you're in high sun and want to reduce some of the sun into the cab. I have some videos on performing service on it, changing the oil, both the engine oil, hydraulic fluids, and also the fuel filters. So I would say that New Holland could have made some improvements with where they located the oil filter. It's behind this panel. That's not the issue. The panel comes off easily, but it's very difficult to get at the oil filter where it's located. And then the two fuel filters are located in front of those. Those aren't too bad, but the engine oil filter is a pain. Hydraulic filter here, that's not a big deal. You can access it from underneath, and the same for the transmission filter. It's on the other side. It's cartridge style. 30-gallon fuel tank, I believe. And this is something that's starting to get some corrosion on it. I do, again, use it in the winter, and sometimes I go out on the road where there is some salt. And this fuel tank carrying bracket is not, it's something I'll have to replace at some point. Could have done a better job with corrosion protection on that, or maybe even used, you know, something different. I've never had the loader off of this tractor, but you know, it seems fairly straightforward to put those arms down, drop it, pull these pins, uncouple it, and then remove the hydraulic fittings on the other side here. We'll take a quick walk around. You can see right there the manifold. So some things that other tractors are now doing is they incorporate a quick change system here, so the manifold just bolts right up and you don't have to disconnect each individual line, but that's not what is on this tractor. This has a diesel particulate filter, but it does not have the catalytic reduction system, so I do not have to put diesel exhaust fluid into it. See up here in the cab, lots of room, air conditioning's working great, heat, all the functions are working properly. Again, great views out of the cab. I do a lot of loader work, so this is located right there, easy enough for me. Ergonomically, this tractor fits me very well. I'm 6 foot tall, and sometimes my children ride in the buddy seat. You can see how well you have a view out of the cab. One of the reasons I like this tractor is because of the sloped hood, and you can see the forks, bucket, whatever you're working with very well. So something I would improve, this is the range selector and also the parking brake. In order to disengage, you let it lift up on this and then pull it into your range, and when you stop you got to put it in park, otherwise it beeps at you. I prefer a separate parking brake. This has just a little bit of a nuance to it that's kind of a challenge. You just have to finagle it sometimes to get it to go into park, so you know, may have to bump the tractor forward a little bit. My TN75 that I had a separate parking brake, and I did prefer that. Got 4 synchronized speeds here, so you can shift, you can just clutch and shift without stopping, or with the power reverser, power thing here, you can pull it back into neutral and shift, and then put it back into forward. You do want to, if you're going from forward to backwards, you know, you can pull it into neutral, apply the brake, and then pull it into reverse. You don't want to be moving forward and then yank that into reverse, or you're going to get jostled around pretty well. Mirrors are pretty good in the tractor. Got lots of views. I like this window down below when you're lining up to your implement with your 3-point lift arms. You can see them very well. Another feature I really like is the 540E mode. That's an economy mode, which permits you to run lower engine RPM to obtain 540 RPM on the PTO. So if you're in lighter grass or not doing anything that requires a ton of horsepower, you can put it in E mode and save some fuel. I'm burning approximately 1.5 to 2 gallons an hour when I'm using it, depending on what I'm pulling and what I'm running. If I'm just doing loader work where you're on the gas and then backing out and then going back and all that, it tends to be on the lower side. If I'm running the brush hog and I'm in some really heavy weeds, I'll consume the 2 gallons an hour, which lines up with the published consumption. So I hope you can watch some of my other videos and you can see the tractor in action. It's very strong. I don't have any issues with the loader. There is a new nuance now that I remember it. We'll get out here. I don't know whether it's a feature of the large tires, but when I put a couple thousand pounds on the front loader, so lifting a pallet with the forks or whatnot, when I stop, if you attempt to turn the wheels, it is extremely difficult to get them to move. But as soon as you start to move just a little bit, they'll turn. I don't know if that's a safety feature, if it's a function of the amount of power the steering ram has, but it is an observation. I never really noticed it as an issue until someone brought it to my attention in a forum, and I said, I've never really messed around with that, because when I'm using a loader, I tend to not turn the steering wheel when I'm not moving. And so I attempted it, and sure enough, that's there. It's never been a problem for me, but it is something to be aware of. So if you're in the market for one of these tractors, they've updated the series. I think it's like T4 100, 120, 115, I don't know if you go on the New Holland website. But 3.4 liter diesel engine. It's been very strong. Again, never had it back to the dealer for any issues. And I would buy it again. I have been around Kubotas and John Deere's and other tractors over the course of my life. Mahindra, if you watch some of my videos, my father has a Mahindra, and it's a nice tractor. I think this has a little more finesse to it than the Mahindra does. It's just a little bit silkier. It's a lot smoother on startup. Again, you know, his tractor does what it needs to do, but I just prefer this one. As far as pricing, you can go price out comparable tractors and you'll see what's going on, but everybody's like, well, you're gonna bleed for a John Deere. And it's funny, when I priced all the tractors, I was within 10% when I lined the features up. So yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of a premium for green, but this is kind of like the John Deere, I guess, of Europe, if you look at where New Holland is extremely popular. But kind of goes with my theme, blue and white, right? You can see my house and my garage. I'm in the market for a 10 or 12 foot brush hog. So I have a 7-footer. So if you have some recommendations, I was looking at the Woods BW12, which is a little bit of a lighter duty batwing 12-footer. It's a pull style. And I was also looking at a 10-foot DS 10.5 Woods. And that is a heavier duty, it's got 2 gearboxes on it, and it'll cut heavier, I think up to 3 or 4 inch versus 2 inch for the BW12. But I'm not in the mode now at the property of beating down large brush. I can use my 297 bush hog on that, and I'm just looking to mow my So at any rate, here's a little video update. Please like my page. Hopefully you can check out some of my other videos and give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Appreciate it. Take care. Okay, we're all hooked up to the New Holland discbine 210. First time I've ever discbined. Cut grass with one of these, cut the hay. We will see how it goes. Alright, we got the discbine rolling. A little bumpy. With 5.7 miles an hour. Pretty thick stuff here. But I think it's doing a nice job. First time I've ever done this.